Hey, ready for another chat? We're diving into a bunch of documents from Donald Wheeler today. You've ever worried your data is telling you the wrong story? This is for you.
That's right. Wheeler's work really puts the spotlight on how data without context can mislead even smart people. And we're going to pull out lessons from process behavior charts, homogeneity, and all that jazz.
It's kind of wild how people jump right to stats like averages or percent differences without even stopping to ask, why did the numbers turn out this way?
Yeah, like, is your big spike a real signal or just random noise? We've got stories like Department 17's inventory drama that show sometimes you're reacting to nothing.
So, we're pulling from a stack of articles, all with one major theme. Data must be interpreted in context. Today's discussion will help you see why that matters and how to avoid the classic traps. Start here. Imagine tracking a factory process over time. Wheeler says if you use the wrong method, like global standardization, you can miss vital signals. The Z chart, on the other hand, helps you spot real shifts even when the data's messy.
Exactly. Without context, comparing one month's numbers to the last doesn't mean much. Is it all noise? Wheeler's department inventory example proves that sometimes there's nothing to explain. The real question is, what's normal for your process?
Yep, stats only work when the process is consistent. Wheeler breaks down how symmetric functions, like averages and confidence intervals, can miss process changes because they treat every number the same, no matter when it happened.
Right, just crunching numbers isn't enough. The process is all over the place. Your stats are just, well, wishful thinking. You need a process behavior chart to check for homogeneity before anything else.
So homogeneity means your data is all coming from the same system, behaving the same way. When that's not true, making predictions is pointless. Wheeler's hurricane example, the counts looked fine until you saw the time series. Two totally different patterns.
That's the danger. If you jam together unrelated periods, you end up torturing the data until it fits a model you want, instead of listening to what the data's actually telling you.
It's kind of funny. Wheeler likes to say, torture the data, it'll confess to anything. So, before you get clever with probability models or wild transformations, check for homogeneity with a process behavior chart.
There's another classic mix-up. Grouping data doesn't guarantee similarity. In one HMO story, episodes were grouped into equivalence classes, but the average cost meant nothing. Even a couple outlier cases could totally skew the average. Always ask what's actually in your group.
That's the classification fallacy. Think you've got a tidy group, but unless you check for context, you might be comparing apples and oranges. Homogeneity charts help spot these mismatches.
There's also the measurement error thing. So, maybe your process is mostly within spec, but if the measurement system's shaky, tightened specs won't fix your underlying issues.
True. Sometimes, tightened specs just lead to rejecting good batches because your measurements are off. That part grabbed me. A batch measured as barely in spec could have, like, a 63% chance of actually being conforming, depending on the measurement error.
So, what about skewness or kurtosis? Wheeler basically says, don't obsess over those shape stats. Most of their value depends on outliers, not the heart of your data. Plot your stuff, but don't let a skew kill your chart.
Totally. Especially when people reach for log transformations, thinking it'll make the data normal. Wheeler's clear. Transforming just distorts the story. The original chart, even if skewed, shows the signals you care about.
And the difference between statistics and parameters is huge. Your stats might look nice, but only estimate parameters if the process is predictable. Otherwise, you're just describing history, not predicting the future.
Right, so don't just rely on calculations. Context tells you if stats are meaningful. That's the key takeaway. So, to wrap this up, interpreting data in context matters way more than the fancy math. Listen for signals, check for homogeneity, and always ask the real question. What's normal for your process? The smart move is to let charts and context guide your decisions.
Yeah, don't fall for the traps. Description is easy, but analysis takes some digging. Thanks for joining us in exploring Wheeler's world of signals, noise, and most importantly, context.